Today, we're talking about sadness. Sadness that you might feel as an individual, or sadness that you recognize in a colleague, a coworker, a teammate. Welcome to this mini but mighty leadership lesson. Every week, we publish a brief but impactful episode to help you level up personally and professionally. In the last two episodes, we looked at research on global sadness and how you can recognize or be aware and observe sadness, systemic sadness in the workplace, and what you can do about it as a leader. This week, we wrap it all up by talking about what you can do as an individual, as a colleague, and a team member when it comes to either feeling and managing sadness in yourself or recognizing and supporting others that you work with. At Boss at the Helm, we talk about self-leadership. It's always starting with yourself, starting by being aware, by setting your intentions, by adjusting throughout the day, and by emotionally regulating. You may not lead other people, but you report to people, you interact with people, you work with them, you have colleagues and teammates. And so there is leadership that you bring as you engage as an individual in the workplace. And part of being a great employee, a great colleague, a great team member is noticing the people around you and supporting and engaging with and connecting with the people that you work with. I differentiate a little bit in terms. A team member in my mind is somebody that you work directly with. Maybe they're on your team or in your department and you engage with them frequently. A colleague is perhaps somebody who's a bit more distant. Maybe they're in a different department or you don't interact with them quite as much. You pass them in the hall or you see them occasionally on the quarterly town hall Zoom. In any case, whether you call them coworker, teammate, friend, colleague, boss, they are people at work, and how you engage with them matters. And how we engage starts with ourselves. What are we going through? Are we aware and able to recognize our emotions and to manage and regulate those emotions? If you are feeling sad, can you recognize, can you name that feeling? Do you know what sadness looks like and how you act when you're sad? Is it grief-related sadness, which is different than the systemic sadness, which is more situational and contextual that we've been talking about in these episodes? And for some of you, asking this question is an eye roll. It's just obvious. Of course, we know how we feel and how we act when we're sad. But for many of you, because I work with you regularly, I know that a lot of us are not able to actually name feelings, including sadness, or describe what that is, how it feels, how it presents. So if you happen to be in that boat, a few things that you might recognize as potential signals of sadness include things feeling just heavier than you think they should for the situation or the moment. Maybe a loss of interest, particularly interest in things that you used to like to do, whether this is in work, in life, with people. If you are losing interest in things, sometimes sadness presents that way. Notice your energy, particularly if you are well rested. When you are not well rested, there are a lot of things that will appear in your physical and emotional well being. But let's assume that you've rested. How do you feel? Did you wake up with low energy? Are you despondent? Are you feeling like there's nothing to look forward to? Maybe there's hopelessness, or what is the point of me even trying to do a good job at work today? These often are sadness and depression signals that you may want to be aware of. Feeling really tired, feeling a loss of interest, having difficulty concentrating. These can be signals to pay attention to how you're feeling and to consider, why are you feeling like that? Now let's talk about options. If you are feeling sad, allow yourself to feel sad. That's okay. That's one of the things that we do. We feel an emotion, we understand that emotion, we name that emotion. That is an option for you. Another option, when you're ready and you're looking to move past sadness, some specific things that you can try. Do something for someone else. Find a way to be of service to somebody else, and you'll be shocked at how dramatically that shifts your sense of well-being, your sense of purpose, and your ability to contribute to somebody often will lift your emotions. Show gratitude. Show gratitude for what's in your life. Say it out loud. Say what you're thankful for. Really notice things. If you are struggling, being able to find one thing that you can say, I am really grateful for the air that I'm breathing today. I am really grateful for this desk that I'm able to sit at today. I'm really grateful I have a job, and on. Try to find one thing or more that you can say out loud that you're grateful for. And in order to do that, we really have to notice. We have to be present. We have to pay attention to what's going on around us and focus on more than just negative things or things that are bringing us down. Look at something and recognize it for a positive contribution to you in your life. Taking care of yourself, paying attention to what you're consuming, whether that's what you're eating, what you're drinking, what you're watching, or reading or listening to, all of these things have impact on us. So if you are actively looking to move past sadness, stop listening to sad music. Get up and move, go for a walk, get exercise, treat yourself to good nutrition and healthy behaviors and habits, get some rest. Spend time out in nature, put your phone down, put your tablet down, go talk to people, go sit with people, go be in a park with people around, listening to children laugh or watching pets play, things that you know will actually light you up and bring you a sense of happiness and joy. You could also ask yourself questions. Is this thing that's making me sad even true? Do I have to do X? Do I have to spend time with somebody? Do I have to get up at 5 a.m. or could I sleep till 6? What are the things that you believe are contributing to the sadness that you're feeling? And then ask yourself, is that still true? Do I have to do it this way? Is this an old habit that I might need to reconsider or break? Is this a limiting belief? Is there something I could do or try differently? So let's say you have a roommate and you're frustrated and feeling really miserable because your roommate lives in a different style than you. They leave their dishes in the sink all the time. And every time you try and have a conversation about it, you get into an argument. And living like this makes you sad. It's just piled up and it's making you really sad. So what can you do about it? You have options. Explore them. Think through. You could just get over it. You could change your perception. You could make a decision today that it doesn't matter if their dishes are in the sink. You're okay with it. You could do the dishes yourself. You could become the martyr and say, yes, I've tried to figure out a solution with this individual, but if having the dishes in the sink clean is important to me, I'm going to make sure that it happens. You could discuss a trade-off. You could sit down and try to influence and negotiate and seek to understand their point of view, share your own point of view, and start with common ground. See if you can come to an alternate agreement where both of you are able to take actions that change the situation. You could get a different roommate or hire a maid service or move out. It's a simplistic example, but you could take this approach. Start by asking yourself, what is really happening here? Do I believe it? Are my thoughts and feelings about it true? And what would I really like to do to make it change? These are things you can do about sadness in life and at work. Now, let's go back to doing something for somebody else. Doing something for somebody else includes being a good colleague, a good coworker, a good teammate by noticing, is somebody else at work seem to be sad? Are they showing or exhibiting behaviors, actions, emotions? And could you help them? Can you just pay attention? Oftentimes, that's all we want from other people, is just to be noticed. So this is obviously easier to do if you're interacting with people in person. Bring somebody a cup of coffee and say, hey, I noticed you seem a bit down today. Everything okay? Anything you'd like to talk about? Or you've noticed that there's one person who is never hanging out with anybody anymore at work. And you say, hey, would you like to go for a walk around the building and invite them to something simple? See if you can engage them. If you work virtually, it's still possible to engage and connect. It takes some different techniques. So let's say you're in a Zoom meeting every Tuesday. You notice there's one person in there that you don't know that well, and they don't speak up that often. You can separately invite them for a virtual coffee. Say, hey, I'm going to put some time on your calendar for next Tuesday after the Zoom session. Maybe we could just get together and connect, get to know each other. Just taking a moment to look around you and notice who's there. When you show up to a meeting, if there are other people sitting quietly in the meeting, say hello to them. Just say, hey, how's everybody doing today? Acknowledge that there are people in the room with you, even if it's a virtual room. Check on people, get to know people, look around you and say, are there people that I haven't met yet or that I don't know? How could I engage with them more? Say things to them that show that you appreciate them. Specifically say, hey, I really appreciate that you're always the first person in the room and you get everything set up and ready for us. That's really helpful. You could say, thank you so much for sharing that data last week. That really helped me in a report that I was creating. You could say something unrelated to work, like, I noticed your purple socks. Those are awesome. They make me happy. Appreciate people. Say thank you. When you show appreciation and gratitude, it not only helps them, it helps you. Your individual and collective well-being improves. What we're looking to do is shape how people experience life and work. Start with yourself, and then lead others. Be a boss. Now is a great time to tap like and subscribe to this channel and join us here next Friday for our next Mini But Mighty Leadership episode. We'll see you then.